What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of The Build. So in this episode, really just want to talk about, some of the sacrifices you might have to make initially in the early parts of your career as an investment. So one of the things I discuss is doing a side hustle. And typically I like to look at it more of, instead of doing a side hustle that's completely unrelated to your full-time career. So, for example, let's say you're an engineer. It doesn't really matter what discipline. If you have a side hustle of going to garage sales and flipping stuff or buying and selling baseball cards or things like that, there's nothing wrong with that. But the approach that I have taken over the last 3 or 4 years to my quote unquote side hustle is to work on the side using the same skills I have in my daily career as much as possible. I understand there's nuances with that. For example, if you're a surgeon, it's going to be kind of hard to do surgery outside of working hours. And there might be some things that are, a little bit more difficult to do. But I'm speaking for a lot of us. Most of the people work at it behind a computer most of the day. And there are things you can do on the side. So if you're an accountant, maybe it's have a small bookkeeping operation that you help smaller businesses, just in the local, just in the local community to hone your bookkeeping skills and build up your resume of things you've accomplished, if that makes sense, and to accelerate your learning process of the working world. To compete with people that have more experience with you, what we need to do as younger professionals is compress the timeline it takes for us to gain 20 years of experience. And the way we do that is by working on projects related to our career field after hours. So for me, that's been providing a lot of 3D modeling services after hours. For example, it's right now it's 9:46. It's 9:46 p.m. and typically this is almost 5 hours past the standard 9 to 5 job, but I'm here working on a project for another entity, learning the craft, learning new things, improving. And yeah, there are parts that suck. And there's a lot of days, most of the time, where I really don't want to be here. And the reason I'm making the video is because I don't want to be here. And this is actually kind of like a procrastination technique, because I'm making this video instead of accomplishing the 3D modeling that needs to be done so I can go to bed. But I feel that it's important to make it when I'm in the mood. And hopefully it's a little more authentic. There's just times you have to kind of grind through it and work. Use your side hustle to further benefit your career over the long term, and it can turn into something. And that's what I've done and am in the process of doing with having done BIM services over the last 3 to 4 years. There are certain pieces in place that are coming more and more in line as I've getting older in my career, getting more experience, getting more stripes that are going to play out in the next 3 to 5 years. Things that I'm not quite ready to share publicly, all the steps and all the moves that have happened, but laying that framework and laying that groundwork over the last 3 to 4 years of doing a lot of the, for lack of better words, like sweatshop type work, like service shop type work, of just manually grinding through stuff, getting it done, learning, will pay dividends 3 to 5 years into your career, into your late 20s and late 30s, that a lot of your other peers won't have. And you have now perhaps quote unquote 15, 20 years experience, because you've spent an additional 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 hours every night for 2 to 3 years or 4 years, and you'll get a decade of experience that way, whereas your peers are not, and you just have to suck it up and do it. And that's what I'm doing right now. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode.